So I'm so pleased today to have with me one of the panel members from yesterday, and this is Dubplate Pearl.
Hi, Rudy.
Good afternoon,
Good
Dubplate Pearl.
afternoon. Hi.
What a great name. So
That's so funny because that was just made up on the spur of the moment.
really,
Yeah.
okay, great, great. Obviously, you love dub plates.
Well, it was just a term that I had a lot of my friends mention around the time. I didn't really know what they were as such because, of course, you'd be hearing about them.
Yeah.
And you know, when I was doing an event and they wanted to announce me, they asked me how would I like to be announced.
Yeah.
And I just said Dubplate Pearl.
Then it stuck.
Stop. Yeah.
It's
That's how it started.
It's a great name. I hope you've copyrighted and registered it. It's just a great signature.
It has a lot of je ne sais quoi, I don't know, but everybody seems to like the name.
Yeah.
Something that I made up on the spur of the moment, and it stuck with me, and it's just carrying me. It's carried me these past few years.
Yeah, no, it's great. It just sounds great. It really does, and because we love dub plates, so it's just, you know, it just connects.
It does, yes.
So Pearl, your first reggae record, which was the first one that you heard?
The first one that I heard is one that my mum had, which is Desmond Dekker, 007.
Okay.
Going back to the mid-60s.
Yes, yes.
Came out. I remember my mum bought it.
Yeah.
And she played it to death. So, but when she travelled, her and my dad went back to Carriacou. I nicked quite a few of her records, and that's one of them. So I've got an original copy.
Okay.
In my box.
that sounds very valuable.
Well, a lot of those records are. Some of them are not in good quality, but the ones that I have, you know, some of them they're playable.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they sound more authentic when they've got all the itchy and scratchy bits on
it. I love that scratchy sound.
Yeah.
To be honest, I really do.
Yeah.
So how did it make you feel that it has become your, you know, you remember that as your first record?
Well, my parents always had music in the house anyway, from jazz to soul, pop, and when the reggae started coming into play, my mum, she just liked it, so she used to go down the market and buy them, you know, and so we grew up listening to those records, and I always have fond memories of my mum playing it, you know, because we had one of those old-fashioned record players where you put it on and you can have to go back and put it onto the stop so it can drop down. You can play it to death. So that's how I remember a lot of those early reggae records, especially. I mean, my mum had ska from the early 60s anyway, but the sort of like rock steady music came in sort of like mid 60s, late 60s, early 70s. She started buying a lot of, and so I just grew up listening to that all the time.
Okay.
You know?
So what, I mean, who is your actual favorite reggae vocalist?
My favorite vocalist will have to be Pat Kelly.
Great, yeah.
Male vocalist, I should say, because I've got favorite females, but my favorite male vocalist is Pat Kelly. And I remember there was a venue in Hackney called Oceans.
Yes.
And I saw him at that venue, and I remember he sounded exactly the same as he did on the records.
Yes, yeah.
And I'll always have that memory of him at Oceans. Brilliant event that night with about 6 or 7 different artists.
Yeah. And that's actually a good standard to judge other vocalists as well.
Oh yes, yes, especially when you see them live.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, and when I've seen people like Alton Ellis, Gregory, you know, but I always remember when he came on and he started singing, and I couldn't believe it, you know, just like how you hear him on the records. I thought it was superb, and I've always liked Pat Kelly anyway.
Yeah. We certainly took for granted the live concerts over the years, that we just went to them without even thinking about it, looking back now.
Yeah, exactly.
So what has been the best reggae concert that you've been to, as we're talking about concerts?
Well, the best reggae concerts I've been to, I mean, I've been to about 3 or 4 really good ones, but the one that sticks in my mind is Bob Marley in 1980. Now, I know he did Hampstead Road in 1976, but this was in 1980. I always get the years mixed up, but it's definitely 1980. And I remember he sang a lot of tracks off the album Rastaman Vibration, which is one of my favorite albums. And I mean, it was packed in there. And I remember I was right down the front, more or less on the stage, because in those days, the stalls were always cheaper than the rear seat.
Right.
So you got down to the stalls and, you know, I remember sitting there and I remember going by myself because I couldn't get anybody to go with me. So I went by myself and I remember seeing him and the I3s on stage to my left, I remember. And then when we were leaving the auditorium, the track he didn't play in concert, but what was played at the end was a track called, oh God, what's the name of the track again? Oh dear. It's off the album and it's the one about the woman crying. Oh God, I've forgotten the name of it.
No woman, no cry.
No, not that one. But it will come to me. But it's a track on that album. And I remember sitting in the auditorium, listening to it before I left. And I remember the auditorium was sort of emptying out and I was just the only one sort of sitting there. And this particular track was being played. And I have that memory, you know, coming out at Hammersmith.
Okay, no, it's a great memory. And when you think that's 40 years ago plus now.
Yeah, I know.
Time flies, eh?
Very much so, very much so. Yeah.
So who's your favorite, you know, your favorite producers and mixers, you know?
Well, first of all, King Tubby's.
Okay.
Right. I love King Tubby because I love my dubs. See? So I've got a lot of dub albums. But I also like Scientists too. And I had a chance to meet Scientists a few years ago. And that was interesting because I went with my albums for him to sign. And he looked at me and said, I didn't know that there was women following my music. I said to him, of course they were. He was really taken aback. He didn't realize that there were women who were following his type of music. And I've got 4 of his albums. So, you know, I got them all nicely signed. But I mean, King Tubby's, I mean, you can't beat a King Tubby mix at all. Classic.
So you can always recognize a King Tubby mix.
Oh, yes.
The crowd.
Bass line and, you know, the cymbals and, you know, the mixing, the way it sounds, it always sounds heavy. When you hear that, like on a big sound system, you know what's going to happen. You can get a pain in your chest. You're going to get moved off the floor.
It reminds me of the days of Sufferer and Cox and the Farnaby.
Oh, yes, the Farnaby.
Neville the Enchanter.
Moambasa, it was my favorite. Quaker City was one of my
favorites.
From Birmingham.
From Birmingham,
they were always heavy.
Yes.
One of the heaviest sound back in the day. So they were one of my favorites. You know?
Great. But, so we're going to have a reminisce soon, just on sound system, just because when we all used to go in the 70s, you know, and we can remember the journeys still, you know, from wherever we lived on our way to the Co-op Hall in South Hall and you know, all these places in Railway in Harrow, you know.
South Hall Community Centre where Shaka used to play. In Slough we had the Peerless restaurant on Brickwell Estate, Orchard Youth Club, you know. Well, I used to go to a lot of the town hall dues on a Sunday afternoon, the 12 till 12 sessions. You've got about 4 or 5 sound systems. One's with town hall was one of the places I know I used to trek to. You know, on a Sunday, 12 till 12. Just imagine that happening now.
I know, no chance, is there? We used to go to Acton Town Hall. That was another great place to go
Fulham
to.
Town Hall too.
Right,
I used to go to there, you know, because they had these sessions. You know, with sound systems going, Brixton Town Hall, you know, right up until about a few years ago, Brixton had them until it became refurbished and no more sound system dues in there, which is a shame, really.
Times change.
Yeah, very much so.
So what's the what was the last record that you actually purchased now? Given we're in lockdown for the last how many months.
Listen, the funny thing about it, I've been buying records throughout lockdown, and there was an article today about the record sales of Discogs. It's been the highest ever.
Really?
Because of,
yeah,
the highest for vinyl as
yes.
well. And I've always bought vinyl. Okay, I've got some CDs,
yeah.
but I've always bought vinyl. The last one that I bought just recently, which is one from back in the day, but I never got it then, was Babylon 4.
Okay.
Yeah, God, Junior Ross and the Spears.
All right, okay, yes.
That's a hardcore tune.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So I bought that, but I got it on for Canadian label, which was really good. So yeah, so that was one of the last ones that I bought just the other day.
Excellent, excellent. So the excitement continues then, really.
Of course. You know, when you place your order and you know it's coming and you get it, and then you put it on the turntable and well, first of all, you take it out of the packaging.
Okay.
Smell it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you clean it up nice, you put it on the turntable, and the sound, you know, to hear how it's been produced and how it sounds when you're playing it back.
Yeah. And
fantastic.
And when you wait for the bass to drop.
Oh yes. The bass, man, you know, when I put that, I can't even put my stereo up too high because I'll smash the windows.
Exactly. We used to love that in the dance halls, just waiting for that initial bass to drop.
Yeah. Good days they were.
Yeah, I still admire those guys because when you think the way they used to string up all the boxes, wires all over the place, and when it stopped, guys could work out where, you know, where it had gone wrong and to fix it. That's and you know, the crowd only had a certain amount of patience where that music better start again.
Well, I had the opportunity with a sound from Shepherd's Bush. It was called King Tropical, and they were playing in Acton. And because the guys lived across the road from me, and I wanted to go to the dance, I said to my dad, you know, they're going, and if I go with them, I'll come back with them. So I was in the back of the van with the speakers, and I helped them to do all the wiring, the stringing up, as they called it back in the day. So I had that opportunity, the one-off time. And good days. Good days.
Certainly. Right, just before we come to the end now, Joel, where can people get hold of you? And, you know, in terms of if people wanted to, you know, work with you.
Right, okay, well, I'm on Facebook as Pearl Boatswain, but as soon as you put Dubplate Pearl in, it'll come up. I'm all over Google because I've done lots of a variety of things in the past few years. So you can see my videos on YouTube. You can contact me via Instagram as well. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also a duo as part of Camberwell Connection. My partner and I, we play together. And I'm also on Balamii Radio, which is a station in South London. So yeah, I mean, you know, just put in Dubplate Pearl on search engines and you'll see all the information about me.
Great. So thank you very much. And it's really great to meet you again.
It's a pleasure, Rudy. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Great. And thank you all. And we'll be back again with our next Women in Reggae interviews very soon. Thank you. And
thank you.
Bye.